Hello and welcome to another Tabletop Games Blog Saturday review. It is always a pleasure to arrive by train at Birmingham International Train Station, which not only gives you access to the West Midlands main airport, but also to the amazing NEC. It is in this huge exhibition complex that the UK's largest hobby games convention takes place every year. The event welcomes tens of thousands of visitors over 3 days who explore the three main halls of the NEC, as well as a number of rooms in the nearby Hilton Metropole Hotel. You'll have guessed it, it is of course UK Games Expo 2024. UK Games Expo is the event I always look forward to, and it is the 5th time that I attend it. Covering over 40,000 square meters in the NEC alone, it is large, but not impossible to navigate easily. In fact, the first time I attended back in 2018, I did it in a day. Okay, maybe not all of it, but with good planning and being strict about what you see, you can visit just for one day. UK Games Expo is very busy, but not so bad that you can't move, unlike Essen. Saturday is usually the busiest, with Friday a close second, while Sunday is often quieter. However, this year it was a lot busier on Friday and Saturday, and even Sunday, while being quieter, held up its own. The attendance figures for 2024 back this up. There were 39,306 unique visitors, and the total attendance was 65,281 for all 3 days, which represents a 20% increase. Something that not many people know is that UK Games Expo also supports charities. This year they raised £18,000, which will be split between SUDC UK and the Williams Montessori School Foundation in Ghana. The money was raised through commissions from the Bring and Buy sale, a maths trade, a live reading of Death Trap Dungeon with Sir Ian Livingstone, and John Robertson. Charity RPG games from Luke Gygax, Steve Jackson, Guy, How to Be a Great GM, Flanders, as well as donations collected by the Vikings and the temporary Viking village on the lawns outside the main hall. Additionally, Bear's Army raised money for various national kidney charities, and Playtest UK raised money for Express CIC. That's a lot of great work from everyone involved. To be able to afford UK Games Expo every year, I started demoing for Asmodee. Last year it was 3 days, but this year I kept it to 2. I wanted to have a day to wander the halls, meet publishers and say hello to people. The show started Thursday evening for me with the press event. I often get crowd blind, but it didn't take long for me to bump into a number of people. It was really wonderful to finally meet Ian McAllister from The Giant Brain in person. Me being a new recruit of the Brainless podcast, it was lovely to see him face to face rather than through a video camera. I would see him again in the evenings where he introduced me to a few new games. I also saw the wonderful Gavin Jones, who is a Patreon supporter of the blog. He was another person whom I played games with in the evenings. Adam Richards from Punchboard was also there and we had a quick chat. I also got to see Descent Games' upcoming release that has no title yet, but will be a sort of successor to Library Labyrinth. Instead of being cooperative, it's going to be a competitive game. From what I heard, it's going to be a really interesting game which I will review in due course. I also said a quick hello to Nikita from Attican Games, with whom I was going to catch up again on subsequent days. It was great to see her show off her handmade board game accessories and jewellery, as well as her handmade games. Mark Cook from Bright Eye Games was there too. I'm currently translating a number of their games into German in time for Essen, so it was lovely to catch up with him too. Sunday was when I had booked a few meetings with publishers. First on my list was Hachette UK. The wonderful Rob Trounds gave me a tour of the company's collection of games at UK Games Expo. There are a lot of great games that are already out and more are to come. I can't mention them all, but here are a few that stood out. Games already out include Courtesans, a cutthroat take-that card game, and Middle Ages, an open draft set collection game where you build your own fiefdom. The art for both games is amazing and the gameplay looked really interesting. In October, Loot, with 3 O's, a resource gathering game with a really clever twist, and Shackleton Base, a Journey to the Moon, which is a worker placement game with a real twist and some cool minis, are coming out. I'm really looking forward to both of these. Afterwards I met Dina Ramse from Dina Said So, who showed me Rahode, a gaming system due out early next year. It looks really impressive and I can't wait to play this dungeon crawl board game for 1 to 6 players and review it. I also got a chance to catch up with the lovely Paul Lamprey, who is currently looking for a publisher for his amazingly easy to learn but hard to master abstract 2-player game Push D6. One well-known publisher is looking at it currently and I hope they'll pick it up. It's a really great game. I finished Sunday with Timeless Journeys from Lyrius Games, which I first saw at Berlin BrettspielCon last year. Visually it has changed a lot and the gameplay also feels more refined. It's a clever mix of deck building, set collection and resource management that takes players on a grand tour of Italy. I really enjoy this game and want to review it in due course. Actually, I've got to mention Sakana Stacked from Have No More, a card trading game that reminds me a little of Scout. I really enjoyed playing this game and meeting Mike and Josh Pesci. I also had a lovely chat with well-known board game illustrator and generally wonderful person, Roland MacDonald. Mike Didymus True of the board game news website Board Game Wire also said hello. As you can tell, there are simply too many people to mention, so let me just say, it was wonderful to speak with you all and see you either again or for the first time. It is you who make this event so enjoyable and fun. So yes, I'm still harking back to the wonderful, if exhausting, time I had at UK Games Expo 2024. Yet, I'm equally excited to do it all again in 2025, and I hope to see you there. Thank you for listening to this Tabletop Games Blog Saturday Review podcast. Please check the description below for links mentioned in this episode, as well as to the written version of this article on the blog. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, give us some stars or leave a review. Please also tell your friends about me, and if you want to offer financial support, check out my Patreon and Ko-fi pages, links to which you'll find in the blog at tabletopgamesblog.com. So thank you again for listening, and I hope to see you again soon. This podcast was made possible by the generous help of my supporters. Royal Patron Sean Newman, Magic Champion John Risley, Castle Guards David Miller and James Naylor, Dice Masters Alex Bardi, Paul Grogan and Robin Kay, and Shining Lights Jacob Davis, Gavin Jones, Sarah Reed and Richard Simpson.